Now back to Webcology, only on WebmasterRadio.fm. Here are the hosts, Jim Hedger and Dave Davies.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Webcology here on WebmasterRadio.fm. This is Jim Hedger from Digital Always Media, joined as always by Dave Davies from Beanstalk SEO. And Dave and I are joined by the Vice President of Analytics Solutions at Apption Software, Jennifer Francis. Jennifer, welcome to Webcology.
Thank you very much, Jim.
I'm going to give a really quick rundown on Apption and what Apption does. This is actually verbatim from the About page. So Apption is a software solutions company that helps organizations work smarter by embedding data analytics into operational applications to optimize business performance. What does that mean, Jen? What does Apption do? Who do you guys serve and what do you guys do?
So we're a small, nimble company in Ottawa, Canada, and we've got a team of expert data scientists and software engineers. And what we do is we build analytic and software frameworks in order to rapidly deploy custom solutions and de-risk projects for our customers. And then we take those analytic frameworks and we create packaged software solutions to take to market. And so Adagents, as an example, is an analytic solution for paid advertising with Google that helps you optimize and analyze your paid search campaigns for improved ROI.
Okay. Who are your traditional customers? Are they large enterprise customers? Are they smaller agencies? Who turns to Apption?
So in terms of our services business, we deal with enterprise customers, small to medium-sized businesses, as well as the government.
Okay.
And then as we package up those solutions and take them to market, for instance, Adagents, we have as our clients advertisers, so mid to large advertisers, as well as agencies that are dealing with multiple AdWords accounts and looking at ways to be more efficient in optimizing those accounts. We also, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask about Adagents, actually. I'm looking at the solutions page of the Apption.com homepage. That's apption.com. And Adagents, one of your services, optimizes the return on investment from your AdWords campaigns by increasing traffic, conversions, and goal completions at a lower cost. How are you doing that?
So what we're doing with Adagents is we've got under the covers an analytic engine, and we're bringing in your data from Google Analytics and Google AdWords, and we're running data mining algorithms on that data in order to look at where is your best and most profitable traffic coming from, and to help you direct your budget to those campaigns, ads, landing pages, keywords, etc., that are driving your highest quality traffic, so that you can improve your conversion rate, increase your traffic volumes by advertising in the right regions at the right time of day with the right ads on the right keywords.
Now, can it be used to automate certain processes, or is it more a will report? It is meant for an expert to analyze this data and extrapolate what to do from that, or are there elements of it that can do, not ad copy or something, but adjusting bids or switching regions or something? Is there an automation function in it?
So it's not fully automated, and you're right. We don't do ad copy. We haven't figured out exactly how to automate the creative side, but but in terms of the automation, so we do have reports and analyses. But what we create for our customers, and this is all an automated service, so we create a list of recommendations that can be implemented, and then as an example of a recommendation, we might tell you to target budget towards 6 to 9 in the evening. That's when you've got your highest converting traffic coming. Or target your budget to specific regions, or pause budget in specific regions where you're not getting effective traffic. And those recommendations can be exported and then imported into the AdWords tool. So you can automate that process with the recommendations, but we don't directly write back into Google, because we We found from our customers they want to look through the recommendations and pick and choose which ones they're going to implement.
Okay, one of the things I noticed that Apption does that I thought was really cool is called customer intelligence. You actually look at the click stream and analyze, analyze the people clicking through, analyze potential customers. How does customer intelligence work?
So customer intelligence, again, it's an analytic solution for the customer intelligence, and what we do is we're looking at, in the case of customer intelligence, customer behavior, and what's the profile of your best customers. So who are your most profitable customers? Who are your best customers? And profile them so that you can find other customers like that. So you might find, your best customers, the ones who come back, repeat purchase, profitable. They don't return things all the time. So maybe that's people between the ages of 25 and 35, female, etc. So that you can build up that profile and a picture of the types of customers that you want to engage and attract, and start to target them more effectively. We also do the analytics to be able to do direct marketing, one-to-one marketing, or cross-media marketing, where you're trying to send more personal offers to people. So if I know your buying habits and I'm able to analyze what you're most likely to buy next, I can customize my offer. So instead of doing a mail blast to everybody with the same offer, I might send you, Jim, a special offer. And Dave might get a slightly different offer based on your purchase history, your profile, and what other people like you have done.
So customization, that's excellent. Now, we're speaking of customers, so I'm now going to ask about yours. No specifics, don't worry. Are there specific markets that these things work better in? Like you're talking about time of day or region or things like that. And of course, there's some industries that may have situations like, people look a lot during the day, but tend to purchase, 4 hours later once they get home or something like that. They're surfing on the job, but don't feel comfortable engaging in a 10-minute process they can't get out of, when their boss might walk in the room. So are there industries that work better than others that you found? Or is a time of day and multi-repeat visitor tracking integrated into the system so you can actually report on, well, they came in at 3 and then convert later in the day?
Yeah, and we do have that in the system. So we track a multi-visit funnel so that we can see exactly that situation. Because what you don't want to do is if it turns out that the people that browsed at noon came back at 6 and purchased, you don't want to turn that traffic off. Because if they're not browsing at noon, they may not purchase at 6. So we do have the multi-visit funnel so you can distinguish between people who browse and later come back and buy. Or in other industries, it might not be a purchase. Maybe they're filling out a form, downloading a coupon, reading your blog. There's a variety of things that you might be trying to get people to do on your site. So we view profitable traffic as traffic that is achieving your goals and objectives, whether they be purchases or other activity that you're expecting or hoping your users do on your site. So we do track that multi-visit funnel so we can tell whether or not, certain times of day or regions, they might not be good on the initial visit, but they come back and they convert later. But we'll also sometimes see, that there are differences. There's times of day where they never do come back. So it may not be worth spending your budget at that time of day because you've got another time of day that's budget limited, but if you move your budget there, you could get better conversion rate. We also see on a lot of the campaigns that there are regional differences on certain campaigns within an account. So you might be running a campaign across all the U.S., but you find that it's actually converting much better on the West Coast than it is on the East Coast, and maybe you should be running a different campaign on the East Coast to get that coast to convert better.
Okay, Jennifer, none of us are in the business of holding our clients' hands or holding our customers' hands, but let's face it, we get in the digital marketing industry, we get clients who are great at running their businesses. They understand the brick and mortar business. They understand Main Street. Maybe they're a governmental organization. They understand their department and their mission, but they don't really understand the web. How much assistance do you give clients in understanding both the jargon and the steps they have to take to make use of the data that you provide them?
Yeah, so we do offer assistance. So as part of our package, we offer weekly or biweekly calls to go through and just talk to our customers about their campaigns and what sorts of things they ought to be doing. We also offer, more startup services for a few of our clients. And we work through agencies. So we find with agencies, the agency does know how this works. And so we're working with the agency and they're working with the advertiser in terms of how to optimize their business digitally. But you're right, there are a lot of companies that really do understand the business segment that they're in, but they're not quite confident yet in terms of how to make that effective digitally.
Friends, this is Jim Hedger from Digital Always Media. Dave Davies from Beanstalk SEO. We're joined by Jennifer Francis, the Vice President of Analytics Solutions at Apption.com. Dave was bringing us back in because Dave had a question. So, Dave, go for it.
All right. All right. Something I've been thinking about through this conversation here, and I think something that a lot of our listeners, and it took me a while to wrap my brain around, is that connection between different users, between the first point of interest and the actual, the money's in my pocket sort of level. We've talked or touched a little bit on sort of, if a person's searching at, noon and comes back at, 6 to make that purchase. Now we're talking about, you setting up systems for people and helping them work out those systems. What sort of are the more complex and what are the more common of the scenarios where we're taking somebody from that first point of intent, whether it's first searching, on paid or whatnot, and then carrying them right through? What sort of tracking do you have to help people manage what their budgets are actually producing?
So from a tracking perspective, in terms of your paid search tracking, we're tracking from the initial interaction with you on your website, the initial click through to your website, and then through to the conversion. We're tracking along to see what the users are doing. Are they clicking on multiple ads? Are they clicking on an ad, then coming back organically? Are they coming in organically first and then clicking on an ad later? So where in the funnel are the ads coming into play? And do you have, in many accounts, you have ads that are what we would call assisting ads. So they're not the ad that closes the business, but they're a critical piece of the funnel to get the business closed. So we're helping our customers see that and what role different ads and different mediums play in terms of getting a person from interest through to a converted event.
So what can you give me an example of a scenario where we have an ad that isn't, the layman or just going in blind you wouldn't see as contributing to the conversion funnel? How do you determine that is a key ingredient in the equation?
Yeah, so we're doing, so in aggregate, what we're doing is we're looking at all of your funnels. So from an initial click through to a conversion event, and then we're running analysis to see in aggregate what role is a keyword playing, for instance, or an ad playing in that funnel. So, if one person in a million clicks on an ad at some point in the funnel, we're not going to say that ad was, important in the funnel. But if we find that, a significant portion of your visitors are clicking on this ad first, they're not converting at that point. So if you looked at Google AdWords, you wouldn't see that ad as a converting ad from the conversion rate in AdWords. But what we are seeing as we track the funnel over time is that ad is repeatedly showing up in the funnel. And we assign what we call an assistance value to that. So we have, for the ads and keywords, we track two numbers, which is the conversion number, which is the last click. How often did you close on that? And then an assistant number, how valuable was that ad in the funnel overall? So that you don't inadvertently drop ads that don't convert but do assist.
Jennifer, we suffer from the tyranny of time. We're into our last minute. It would be remiss of us to let you go without asking, how do people engage with Apption? How do they get in touch with you, and how do they start doing, receiving information from Apption?
Well, the easiest way in a short time period to get people in touch with us, we have an info@apption.com. So you can write to us at info@apption.com, and we'll get back to you and start engaging in a dialogue.
We're out of time. We're butting up against a radio news break. So Jennifer Francis, Vice President of Analytic Solutions at Apption.com. Thank you so much for spending time with us on Webcology today.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks.